when I present myself on my social media and in my Bold and Blunt podcast, I come right out and say that I am a Christian conservative and I am unapologetic about it. So what that does is it pretty much sets me in the line of fire of half of America, right? But we Christians need to stand strong and unapologetic for our faith, because we bring forth the viewpoint that founding fathers carried when they forged this great nation of ours. So we shouldn't be the ones who are cowering in the corners, afraid to speak out on political and cultural issues. And so when you look at what's happened to Christians in the media nowadays, we're told that we have no place. We have no right to be anywhere outside of church on Sundays, and then we need to be silent Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday.
And so when you make that claim, which I agree with, you're going to have people in the media probably that are going to be pushing back. I mean, I've seen columns, I've seen articles that talk about, well, Christians claim to be victims. And, you look around at the influence of religion in our nation. And so people to me, it doesn't seem like that the media in general wants to really admit that.
They don't, because once you admit a fault, then you have to take accountability for it, and you have to later on down the line address it. And so the mainstream media, which is largely secular, right? You've seen the polls, whether they say, many in the media say they believe in God or not. If you look at where they stand on issues, pro-abortion, for instance, that sets them directly outside biblical truths. It sets them outside the camp of Christianity. And so when people like that criticize you as a Christian in the media, you should say, so what? Because their viewpoint is not in line with what ours is supposed to be anyhow.
And of course, it's always important that you're, as we might say, the right kind of Christians. And it does seem to me that you see media stories where the media is bending over backwards to kind of, paint the right perspective for a Christian, that a Christian should not be pro-life. A Christian should have a more tolerant viewpoint of sexual matters and things of that sort. So it's almost as if you have those that feel like they know better than real Christians and they're telling us how we should be living the Christian life. And I think, unfortunately, you have far too many that are probably buying into that.
See, that's not what bothers me, that you have the secularists and atheists out there telling us, we Christians, how we should live. It's the fact, the second part you said, too many in the Christian community have allowed that to go forth. And they've allowed themselves to be painted and slandered and even libeled as intolerant, as haters, as bigots. And we take that abuse, that verbal abuse, from those who don't know Jesus, from those who don't know biblical truth. So I ask you, why? Why do we allow that to happen?
And what would you say, how would you answer that question? Why do we allow this to happen? Is it a lack of knowledge of the scriptures? Is it perhaps some sort of cultural inferiority? What do you think?
I think it's that Christians, of course, like any human, don't want to feel embarrassed. They don't want to feel uncomfortable. And they certainly don't want to come off as seeming to be intolerant, because it's a delicate balance that we walk, right? Love the human, hate the sin. Love the sinner, hate the sin. And it's difficult to play that out. So I think some Christians are well-meaning about it. Other Christians, I think they're just failing on their duty as Christians to stand strong for the principles Jesus wants us to stand strong for.